Hello friends, you are listening Read Your Articles and I am your host Somnath Karmakar. Today I tell you a wonderful true motivational life story of our beloved living legend, the god of Indian cricket, none other than Sachin Tendulkar. This life story gives us a great life lesson also, that never give up at any situation and believe in yourself. So let's begin. 24th February 2010. That day, an entire nation erupted with joy as Sachin Tendulkar became the first cricketer to score a double century in the one-day international. In 2961 previous games in international cricket, no man had been able to go to on the 200-run mark. And it was the only fitting that the man with the highest number of runs in Test and one-day cricket, as well as the highest number of centuries in both form of game, had achieved the feat. As newspaper filled column spaces with stories and the wonderful achievements of India's greatest cricketer of all time, I thought about my favorite Sachin story. It's a story that Navjot Singh Sidhu, former Indian cricketer turned politician, loves to tell. This little tale probably explains the making of a genius, a giant among all cricketers, the little legend. December 1989, Sialkot, Pakistan. It was the fourth test match of India-Pakistan series. And as it happens, just like the fourth test of Sachin's career also. Making his debut at 16, the church-faced, fuzzy-haired Sachin had already won admirers, being widely seen as a unique and gifted talent. But on those days, several youngsters had sparkled briefly in Indian cricket team, and then, almost as a sudden, faded away, a gross injustice to their enormous talent. The series was led 0-0 after 3 tests. Despite conceding a first innings lead of 65 in the fourth test, Pakistan hit back strongly through blistering spells from Waqar Younis and Wasim Akram, reducing India to 38 runs for 4 wickets in their second innings. India was suddenly staring at defeat, with which they would lose the series too. In walked Sachin in joined Sidhu. Experienced pros like Sanjay Manjrekar and Srikanth, Mohammad Azharuddin and Ravi Shastri had found the Pak attack too hot to handle and were back to pavilion. In that ongoing match, Walker bowled a nasty bouncer that went smack on Sachin's nose. The poor boy was badly hit and his nose began to bleed badly. It made for a sad sight on TV, and most women watching were convinced that there had to be a law to prevent a 16-year-old being subjected to such brutality. Then the Indian team physiotherapists rushed to offer first aid, and the Pakistanis gathered to check out the bloody side. As the physio tried to stop the bleeding, but it didn't stop at all. Then Sidhu suggested to Sachin that he would retire hurt and come out later. That would give time to get his nose fixed, regain his strength, and hopefully return to a less brutal attack. "Come in, I will attend to you," said the helpful physio. But Sachin brushed them away, almost annoyed that they should even suggest that he walked away, and said those two magical words, "Main khelega." He said, "I will play," and in that very moment, says Sidhu, a star was born. Those two magical words verbalized the determination of a young man who wasn't a one to quit. Sachin could have gone into the relative comfort of dressing room, but he did not. The heat of the match was still on. India was in trouble. The pace attack had its tail up, although the ball might break the nose of Sachin, but it didn't break his will. That day Sachin went on to score 57 runs and shared in the match, saving 101-run partnership with Sidhu. With 2 words, "Main khelega," talent transformed into genius that day in Sialkot. It's always like that. What separates champions from mere mortals is not just talent, it's attitude, it's mental strength, it's the willingness to fight when everyone are down. It's the "Main khelega" spirit, the spirit that put the team's need ahead of one's interest. "Main khelega" say it's not about me, it's about my team. There are times in our life when the pressure mounts and we feel like throwing it in the towel and calling it quit. That's just the time when you need to put your hand up and count it. Time to say "Main khelega." But perhaps Sachin's biggest contribution is teaching an entire nation to stand up and fight, to learn never to give up, to say "Main khelega." Some years down, long after the little master blaster has hung off his boots, when we tell our grandchildren about the exploits of a batting legend, we should remember to tell them and teach them those 2 magical words, that defined the spirit of the champion and translated talent into performance. Thank you, Sachin, for the entertainment. Thanks for all those wins, and yes, thanks for showing us the virtue of my khelega spirit. I picked this true life story, My Khelega, the making of a champion called Sachin Tendulkar, from a book named The Habit of Winning by Prakash Iyer and forwarded by R. Gopal Krishnan. And I highly recommend everyone to read this book once in their life. I personally read this book and it's awesome. So thank you everyone, and stay tuned in our page, read your articles for more updates like that. Bye bye.